Hello, Health Boss Jessie Zylea here, helping you learn how to be your own health boss and how to lose weight without exercise. Do you have a desk job or a sedentary job and just do not have time to hit the gym or to exercise at home? Or perhaps due to COVID-19, you're just not moving around as much as you used to. By the end of this video, you'll be introduced to just a few ways to lose weight without exercise through a 5-2 intermittent fasting eating protocol. For the best scientifically driven ways to lose excess weight when you don't have time or energy to work out, subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit that little notification bell so that you are the first one to be notified when I release a new video every week. One of my weight loss clients was a lawyer, or she still is a lawyer, but she was in a completely different geographical location than where I'm situated, and I'm in Los Angeles. And actually, I've helped out a lot of lawyers because the nature of our job is pretty sedentary usually. And even though our cultures varied between where I'm located in Los Angeles and where my client was located, the stressful and sedentary nature of the job was exactly the same. For her, we used a 5-2 intermittent fasting protocol, the same tools I'll be sharing with you today in this video in order for her to reach her goal weight. Are you excited about that? Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 key points. First, is 5-2 intermittent fasting for you? Can you fit it into your lifestyle? This video, and really this entire channel, is specifically made for people who are middle-aged or getting there. I know we don't want to call ourselves middle-aged, but even more specifically for people who are middle-aged and who have a desk job or an otherwise sedentary job or lifestyle, who don't have time for exercise and who want to lose some excess body fat. When I first started this channel years ago, I felt like this space was really needed. I could not find a channel like this that existed. It just did not exist. What I was seeing that did exist and that was prevalent, and I was just sick of seeing it, were YouTube channels with like 20-year-olds, and good for them. I'm not faulting them for being in their 20s and really fit and have all this time for the gym. I think that's great. But there are a lot of us that get forgotten, and we just do not have the same lifestyle. And I was really sick of seeing these super young people who were hitting the gym and telling people like me how to live our lives and lose weight. I just thought there has to be another way, and luckily I found it. And also luckily there is not one way. There are multiple ways, but 5-2 intermittent fasting can definitely work for you. It's just a matter really of whether it's going to fit your personality. And if you have not tried intermittent fasting before, then 5-2 can be a really great way to sort of dip a toe into the waters of intermittent fasting. And you can see whether the 5-2 intermittent fasting protocol is what's going to be up your alley and what's going to work for your personality. Some people prefer different types of intermittent fasting, but 5-2 is a great introduction to it. And some people just love it so much they just stick with it. I'm going to let you down now, Kate. Point number 2, figure out your eating window on your fasting days. And those are the days when you are eating fewer calories on the 5-2 diet. So for women, typically this will be 500 calories on your fasting days. And for men, typically it will be 600 calories on your fasting days. In order to figure out your eating window, the eating window that's going to work for you on your fasting days, know thyself. I say this a lot, but it's really important. When does hunger really strike you while you're working? A lot of people get ravenously hungry once the late afternoon or early evening hits. Is that you? If so, you might want to eat all of your 500 calories or your 600 calories in one go toward the end of your work day or just after the day has finished. So for instance, you might want to save all your calories for an early dinner. I find this to be the case with a lot of people when they tend to get hungry when they work a desk job. But if that does not fit you, if you get hungry really a lot earlier in the day, obviously choose a different strategy. But the problem is when you get hungry earlier on in the day, if you're also the type of personality who once you start eating, you can't stop. I know it can be really tough to push your eating out farther if you're really getting hungry in the beginning of the day. But if you know you can't stop eating once you start, that's going to be an overriding factor for 5-2 intermittent fasting. And what you're going to want to do is honestly do whatever you can to stave off that hunger in a way that is healthy. I have a guide that I have created 4 intermittent fasting tips when you are hungry on the 5-2 diet. So if you are wanting those intermittent fasting tips, please just hit me up. All you have to do is email me, and I don't have any automation or anything like that. So it's literally my email address. It's in the description box below. Email me, let me know that you want this little guide. And it's just a way to have some extra support in your pocket. Pull it up on your phone when you're getting hungry, and I'll be there, giving you some tips specifically for 5-2 intermittent fasting. But if you are a grazer, a very light grazer, and you can just have a little tiny bit throughout the day, if that works for you and your personality, do that. But either way, really think about the kind of person, the kind of eater that you are. Really think about that and strategize what your eating window will be on your fasting days for the 5-2 fasting protocol. Point number 3, does intermittent fasting on a 5-2 diet take up any extra time in terms of planning, etc.? And the answer is no. There is no giant meal prep. And the thing about having a stressful desk job is that by the time you're home and by the time you're done, you're exhausted. So it's really hard to muster up the energy to work out. I completely get that. And that doesn't matter whether working out for you would be at a gym or at home. You're just tired. You don't have the energy, don't have the time. And often you just do not have the wherewithal. Plus, if you have kids, a lot of parents feel guilty. I'm not saying they should, but a lot of parents do deal with guilt if they take the time away from their children to work out. This is a judgment-free zone, like a judgment-free YouTube channel. I'm just not going to let a bunch of BS come in on the comments. I am here to tell you that no matter your circumstance, the great thing about 5-2 intermittent fasting is that unlike working out, it doesn't take any extra time or energy out of your day. In fact, it actually gives you more time because you're not having to dedicate yourself to a bunch of planning or, like I said, meal prep. You're not doing any of that. You're not even thinking about what you want to eat. And sometimes that does take a lot of time, just figuring out what in the world you're going to do for breakfast or lunch or whatever. And the reason why this doesn't take any extra time is because you're either grazing very small amounts of food throughout the day, or you're having one big meal, but it's only one instead of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. And so you only have to worry about just the one meal that you're having that day. And that saves time. So either way you slice it, 5-2 saves you time on your fasting days. Now, if you're watching this video and you're wondering what in the world 5-2 intermittent fasting is because you're just sort of jumping on here and really don't have a good foundation for that, please go ahead and watch this video, which I will also have available in the iCards above. This video really helps explain 5-2 intermittent fasting for beginners. Speaking of which, are you new to the idea of 5-2 intermittent fasting? Have you looked into it before? Have you tried it before? Is there anything holding you back from trying it? If you've already tried it and want to sort of try it again, what's going on there? What is your experience with 5-2 intermittent fasting? I would really love for you to tell me your thoughts about this and your experience about this in the comments below. Point number 4. Should your fasting days be during the work week or during the weekend? Now, I recommend looking at each upcoming week individually. So maybe on the weekend, check out your schedule for the upcoming week to figure this out. Whenever I am on a 5-2 intermittent fasting protocol, my day for figuring that out is Sunday. Take a look at my schedule and I see, are there any meetings that I'm going to have to be at? Are there any dinners that I'm going to have to be at? I mean, with COVID-19, obviously I haven't had dinners, but I do have Zoom meetings and all of that. Plus there are times that I'm still having to meet some clients in person. I just mask up and do the right thing. But the point is, do you have a function that is going to prevent you from being able to have your fasting day in a way that's workable for you? The 5-2 diet is so flexible that you can choose any 2 days of the week. They do not have to be the same 2 days every single solitary week. You can move them around according to your schedule. Some people find it to be a lot more relaxing to just pick the same 2 days every week and just have it set. So for example, my husband, when he does it, he tends to pick Monday and Wednesday. Those are his 2 days and that's it. But a lot of people do not have that luxury and they just need to check what's going on in the week and, make your fasting work for you. You don't have to work for your fasting. Having said that, I generally recommend that my clients do not make their fasting days on the weekends, because that time should be reserved for relaxing, being with your family if you do have one, and generally worrying less about this stuff. Plus, if you make your fasting days during the work week, you will be amazed at how focused and productive you can be during those days. You can get so much done. The fifth and final step that I have is to stick with it, because what happens every single solitary time that I have a client, really with any weight loss protocol, but with 5-2, this happens, is that they will see results right away. But after a few weeks, they stall out and there's a plateau. Do not freak out if this happens. Plateaus happen, and they happen to everyone with every single approach that exists on the planet. But if you plateau, don't freak out and think that this doesn't work for you. Just stick with it. And it's what I refer to, and I'm sure lots of other coaches refer to it, as pushing through the plateau. It's not that it doesn't work. Clearly it does work. And it did work the first several weeks that you did it. Your body is adapting. And instead of giving up and saying this doesn't work anymore, push through it. Keep doing the exact same thing. And I promise you, after plateaus, they generally last about 1 week for some people and all the way up to 3 weeks for some people. But I've never seen a plateau last longer than that. I really haven't. So push through, keep doing it. I know that could be frustrating. Come back, watch this video to remember that this is normal, and just stick with it. You can do it, and you can reach your goals. These 5 points alone can give you a big boost in attaining your weight loss goals, especially if you're new to the concept of 5-2 intermittent fasting. So now that you know some things that you need to consider as a desk job professional who wants to start burning some fat without exercising by utilizing the 5-2 intermittent fasting protocol, what about when you are hungry on your fast days? Now, I know I mentioned this before, but honestly, seriously, take me up on this. Email me for this guide. Having some support when you are getting into any intermittent fasting, but when you are getting into 5-2 is so important. And rather than remembering the video that you saw and trying to look up that same video, you can bring up this PDF that I created and just boom, have it right there in your back pocket on your phone. Just email me. I will send it to you. And I don't believe in selling anyone's information. That's like really sketchy. Even though this video is about 5-2 intermittent fasting, remember there is no one way to lose weight, but finding the way that works for you and your personality, that is where I come in, and that I've helped people just like you lose the excess weight that they want to lose. If somebody is telling you that there is one way to lose weight, run in the other direction. I don't care whom you run to, but don't listen to that person, because it's just not true. For some of my clients, 5-2 intermittent fasting really fits their personalities quite well, and they were able to see results really quickly on this protocol without any exercise whatsoever. Now, look, exercise is good for you. I'm not trying to say that exercise is bad for you. Exercise is great for you, but for people who really don't have time, it's not all hope is lost. You too can reach your goals. And in fact, if you want to check out these videos, you can see how I personally got to my goal weight through 5-2 intermittent fasting. And again, this is just one way that I've helped other people just like you lose weight. If you've liked this video, then giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, it really helps out me and my channel. It helps me reach more people like you to help people lose weight without exercise, even if we have a sedentary desk job and even if we're no longer in our 20s. Plus, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Thank you so much for being a part of this community, and until next time, ciao.